Hi, I'm Arden Kaywin, and this is today's episode of the Pro Singer Success Collective. We are talking about the number one superpower of successful singers. All right, everyone. So today we're talking about the number one superpower of successful singers. And I know you are all dying to know what it is, so we're just going to cut right to the chase. But first, I have a question for you. Do you have FOPO? Do you even know what FOPO is? FOPO, fear of other people's opinions. FOPO, fear of other people's opinions, fear of being judged. Do you have that? Because what I've learned over doing this for 30 years and working with professional singers for over 25 years is this, that taking things personally is the number one killer of dreams and the number one killer of the ability to perform in a way that has the power to make the kind of impact that's going to change your life. So that's why the number one superpower of successful singers is the ability to not take things personally. So here's what I want to put forth to you guys. If you are doing anything worthwhile, anything at all, there is 100% chance that you're going to be judged. 100% chance. Like, you can count on it. Because when you're putting yourself out there in a bigger, more powerful, more dynamic way, somebody somewhere is not going to like what you do. They're just not. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And there are a million reasons for this. But the thing that I want you to understand right out of the gate is that the majority of these reasons, they don't have anything to do with you. They really don't. So today we're going to talk about the superpower of how not to take stuff personally and how not to get in that contraction and that fear of being judged. So there's a quote, a great quote that I love, which is, "What you think of me is none of my business." I love that. I'm going to say it again because I think it's so great. What you think of me is none of my business. And when I talk to singers, what just kills me, the part that just kills me is that, so many singers, they stop taking action because they have this fear of, what will people think of me? What will people think of my sound, of my performance? And so they end up just tiptoeing around and playing small and playing safe because they're constantly trying to manage their performances, manage their sound, their auditions, their recordings to avoid any kind of negative judgment or commentary. And it's like they're so focused on pleasing everyone and managing what everyone thinks, because that's the way that they think that they're going to get really successful and have a big singing career. But I'm going to level with you guys. It is just not the case. In fact, it's the opposite. And here's why. So when you are so focused on being judged and you're so in your head and worrying about what people will think of you, people will think of your sound, your performance, what you look like, how you show up, like, you play it safe. You play it safe and you contract energetically, whether you realize it or not, okay? And then when you're doing that, you don't access the full power of your instrument, the full power of your sound, of the truth of you in that moment. And so the sound and the performance just end up being a fraction of what you are truly capable of. And so then, because of that, you don't make that big impact on the audience, the kind of impact that you need to make, that is absolutely essential in order to have the big singing career that you really want. And so while perhaps you're playing it safe, so that you don't get horrible reactions to your performance, like while you're doing that, you also don't blow people away either. So you have left them lukewarm. You've done a lukewarm performance. You're not blowing anybody away, but you're not, going to ruffle feathers either, or you're not going to horribly screw up either. And so you just end up being lukewarm and leaving the audience with this lukewarm taste in their mouth, which it doesn't make them want to hire you if it's an audition or something like that. And it doesn't make them want to keep coming back for more if it's, more spins on your single or coming back to more shows or buying your merch or being a real fan. Lukewarm does not a big career make, okay? So in trying to please everyone and being so fearful of judgment and avoid any of that, you actually take yourself farther away from the big career and success that you really want. So the second thing that I really, really just want you to get, like at a cellular level, is that judgment is going to happen anyway. It's going to happen no matter what. Like, I guarantee you, if this is the career path that you want to be on, to be a performer and a singer, there will be people who don't like your voice. You can count on it. There will be people who don't jive with what you do. No matter how talented, no matter how successful you are, that is a guarantee. Okay? And P.S., the more successful that you get, the more people there will be who have opinions about what you do and who judge what you do and maybe who dislike your music or maybe who dislike you, because there is going to be that many more people who know who you are and who are exposed to what you do. So just get at a cellular level that there will be people who don't like your voice and who don't like what you do. And that says more about them than you, okay? I can guarantee that this will happen to you. So stop trying to avoid it. And by the way, like, I mean, how many people do you know, performers who have big careers who you know, and you're like, I don't get it. Like, I don't really like their voice. And yet they're huge. Like for me, this is Shakira. I don't like her voice. I don't think she's particularly interesting or talented. And that's fine because there are millions of people who do. So she gets to go have that big career. And it doesn't matter what I think. But if she was so contracted about trying to please everyone, I guarantee you she would not be where she is right now. And so the bigger you get, the more you can guarantee that there will be those people because more people know about who you are. And, you know, and think about this, like Lady Gaga is a perfect example, you know, she does her thing. She puts herself out there, you know, she's huge. And how many people are trashing her on social media? Like every day, right? She's not everybody's cup of tea. And yet she's a huge, successful, rewarding career. Okay. So I want you to really understand and just get that this is going to happen no matter what. You will be judged. People will have opinions. There will be haters, unfortunately. And it doesn't even matter what you do or how successful or talented you are. That it's like, if you can just get that it doesn't matter how talented, how successful you are, that there's this like acceptance that comes, and there can even be some freedom that comes around the fact that most of the time it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with that, you know, that person's personal experiences and tastes. And so my point is that you put yourself out there, you put your voice out there. And as long as you're being true to your voice, your sound, your truth, then you have no control over how other people are going to receive that or interpret that. So you might as well stop trying and quit letting that affect the impact that you could possibly make. So just understand that it's just something that you have to accept, that when you start playing a bigger game and start putting yourself out there and putting your voice out there in bigger ways, there are always going to be people who don't like what you do. But you know what else is going to happen? There are going to be other people who you impact in incredibly, incredibly powerful ways. And so there are other people who are going to watch your performances or listen to your recordings. And for them, you are it for them. You are it. They become fans for life. And by the way, it works like this for me too, guys. Like, look, I don't have too many haters, but there have been those over the years who haven't liked my performances, or now people from time to time who put like hurtful things in the comments of my teaching videos. And there are also thousands and thousands of singers who thank me every day for helping them with what I share through this channel, through my technique videos, through my Pro Singer Success Collective, through these kinds of talks. Thousands of people thanking me every day. And the hundreds of singers who I've personally worked with and transformed, who have worked in our intensive programs, and singers who are doing these incredible, incredible things with their singing and their careers every day, thanks to the work that we get to do together. So I have a simple choice to make. Am I going to allow what people say about me to stop me from doing all that good and making that big of an impact? Or am I just going to keep doing my thing? And so you have the same choice too. You can, you just can't care about what people think or what the haters say, because if you do, it sabotages your performances, because it stops you from being in the moment with your body and your sound. You contract and then you don't make the sound you know you can make, which prevents you from the full power of your instrument and your impact, and stops you from doing what you were put on this planet to do. And so the saddest thing, guys, is a life of wasted talent. The biggest tragedy is wasted talent. And I don't want your talent to go to waste just because you're trying to control what you can't, which is what people think of you, what your audience thinks of you, or what listeners might say. So the only thing that you should be focusing on is being the very best version of yourself as a singer, of yourself as a performer, and just of you. Not so that somebody else will like your performance, not so that somebody else will accept you, not so that you avoid someone saying something not so nice about what you're putting out there. You just really have to do like a heart check and a gut check to say, am I really taking action? Am I really making an impact? Are my performances really and truly aligned with who I am and the truth of my sound and my abilities and all its power? And if you can absolutely stand firmly and say yes to those things and stand in that truth and be centered in that, then all the other stuff just does not matter. Just get that as long as you are showing up as the highest and best version of yourself as a singer and as a performer and as a human, some people will love what you do and some people won't. And the point is that it's not even about you anymore. Like, it's not, at that point, what they're saying and their judgments, it's not in your hula hoop. If you are showing up as the best version of yourself as a performer and as a human, it's not about you, whatever they say or whatever they do. That's just not in your hula hoop anymore, because it's not in your control and never was. It never was. You cannot control what somebody thinks of you. I know you want to try, and so many of you are killing your performances and your careers because you're so all up in there manipulating and forcing and controlling, and that is what causes the sound that keeps you on the bench. It is what causes the contracted energy that doesn't make an impact in those auditions and performances. And so if you get that contraction and that you cannot control what your audience thinks of you, and you just show up as the highest and best version of yourself as a performer and as a singer, then that's all you can do. Now, here's the thing. If you do not feel like you are the highest and best version of yourself as a performer yet, if you really are not taking action, if you do not feel like you really know how to make that impact, or that your performances, if you're not sure they really are aligned with who you are and the truth of you and your sound and all its power, then you've got some work to do, because those things are in your hula hoop. They are in your control. So look, if you want help learning how to do that, how to make that impact in every performance, if you want help getting past those roadblocks that are preventing you from showing up in the truth of your potential and your sound and all its power so you deliver when it counts every single time, then we need to talk. We need to talk. So look, guys, I know that I have a lot of content out there about vocal technique on this channel, and a big part of what I do with singers in my programs is teach high-level vocal technique to set them up with that rock-solid, reliable foundation for their voice. And that's a huge part of what we do with our singers. But right alongside that, as we're setting that rock-solid foundation for their technique and their voice, is also showing them how to understand and rewire the parts of their mindset and their thinking that have been holding them back and getting in the way of them doing that. Because I can teach a singer, guys, I can teach you the best technique in the world. And trust me, This is the best technique in the world. I have had the privilege of incredible mentors in my own training. So this is the best technique in the world. And those are my singer's words, not mine, okay? I can give you the best technique in the world, but it is not going to matter if you're still contracting around what people think of you, because your brain will continue to play it safe and sabotage your body from trusting and using all of that badass technique in the moment you get in front of an audience. And I know you know what that feels like, because majority of you are living that right now. And so because you're not where you want to be with your singing and your performing career, I guarantee you there's stuff in your mindset that's holding you back. And I think maybe I've had, like, in the course of my entire teaching career, maybe like 1 or 2 people that were like completely dialed in mentally in their mindset, and they just needed technique. If that's ever happened, I don't even think I can think of that. Pretty much all the time, guys, singers need the technique stuff, but there's all this other stuff, the emotional stuff, the mindset stuff, the real stuff that's holding you back. So I want to help with all that stuff at the same time. And I want to give you the rock solid technique so that you know you can rely on your voice and deliver when it counts. And I want to up level how you show up to your instrument, your voice, your journey, your body, yourself in the world, so that when you have an opportunity to get up there and make a big impact with your voice, you do, and you feel amazing doing it. So if that's something that you want me and my team to help you with, then I want you to book a free call, a breakthrough call with my team. I'm going to invite you to book a call. It's an easy way for you to start to understand and get clarity on a lot of these things. So in order for you to do that, to book a free breakthrough call with me or my team, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll click the link that'll come up on the end of the screen after the video. If you're watching on Facebook, you can click the link in the comments below, and it'll take you to a calendar page where it will open up a bunch of available times for us to talk. And so you can pick a time that works for you, and I'll call you at the scheduled time. Now, a quick note about who this call is for, because this call is not for everyone. So listen carefully, okay? If you have not had any or much one-on-one technical voice training, this call is not for you yet. Go get that first. If you are experiencing lots of insecurities and contracting around what people think, and if your voice is good enough, and you have not had just a base level of technical training, that's where the insecurity is coming from. It's like you want to get up and play Major League Baseball, but you've never actually been to baseball camp or played, practice with an expert who's going to show you how to hit and how to throw. I'd be insecure too. So go get that first. And this is a great time to get moving on that. Now, if you have had a good deal of training and you are not where you want to be in your career, and you are not seeing the results of all that training in the form of a thriving, successful singing career, if you're not at the level that you want, if you feel like your auditions or your performances or your recordings are getting overlooked, and you're putting yourself out there and you're doing all these things and you're just so tired of the stress and the pressure of trying to make this happen and push this giant boulder up a hill, and if you know that you are talented, but you are still stuck at your day job that you hate, and it's making you wonder, am I really good enough to do this? How am I going to do this? Then don't waste any more time, okay? Book a call with me today, and we're going to get on the phone, and we're going to talk for 45 minutes, and we're going to get really clear on what's not working and what is working and what's the gap between where you are and where you want to go. Why aren't your performances and recordings and auditions making the impact to get you where you want to go? Where are you frustrated? What do you need in order to bridge that gap and get there? What's the missing piece? And then how do you build that foundation? So we're going to put our heads together. We're going to get clear on all that stuff, and we're going to come up with a step-by-step game plan for you to be able to start doing all of that in your singing. And so if that's something that you want our help to do, and you have the talent and training, and you have been out there hustling, and you're just so ready to break through to the next level in your singing, in your career, and you want our help to execute that, that's cool. We'll talk about it. If not, that's cool too. So either way, my goal is to give you massive, massive clarity on that call. So click the link at the end of the YouTube here or click below in the comments on Facebook and book that appointment to speak to me today. And I will see you next week in our Pro Singer Success Collective. Bye, guys. Hey, guys. Thanks for tuning into today's episode. If you want to subscribe, click the link right over there that says subscribe. And if you want to book a breakthrough session with me, which you absolutely should do, then click the link right over here that says book a call to schedule an appointment to speak with us. I'll see you on the next episode.